Around the world, trading goods. Anne and her mother are making popcorn. We grow lots of corn in the United States, says Anne's mother. But there are some foods that do not grow in our country. You know one. Do you remember what you gave to me for my birthday? Brazil nuts, says Anne. Yes, my favorite nut, says Anne's mother. Anne's mother gets her jar of Brazil nuts from the shelf. One place where these nuts grow is in Brazil. Brazil is a country in South America. How do countries get things they cannot grow or make, asks Anne. They trade, says Anne's mother. Trade is sending goods to a country and then getting other goods back. Countries need to trade with each other to get goods that they do not have. Our country trades with Brazil. Brazil sells nuts and other goods to the United States. And the United States sells corn and other goods to Brazil. I'll trade you a piece of popcorn for a Brazil nut, says Anne. Anne's mother shows her a map of Brazil. How do the nuts get here from Brazil, asks Anne. Brazil is far away. Some foods and goods are sent by ship or plane, explains her mother. Goods are also sent over the land by trains or trucks. Anne traces the route from Brazil to her community in the United States on a map. She and her mother eat popcorn and Brazil nuts. They're glad that countries trade so they can enjoy foods from other places. Questions. What types of transportation are used to trade goods? Number 2. Why do countries trade? What might happen if countries did not trade? Lesson 1. 50 states, 1 country. Meet Eddie and Julia. They are neighbors. They live in a city called Sacramento in the state of California. Find Sacramento on the map. Sacramento is an important city in California, says Eddie. This is because Sacramento is the capital of our state. A capital is where the leaders of a state work. In school, Julia draws pictures about California. Julia drew the state flag. It stands for California, she says. The flag shows a bear and a star. Like other states, California has a state bird, a state flower, and a state tree. These are California's state symbols. You can see them in Julia's picture. We live in a city and a state, says Eddie. We also live in the United States. The United States is the name of our country. The United States is made up of 50 different states. Look at the map. Do you see California? It is one of the 50 states. Name some other states. Like Julie and Eddie, you live in a community. You also live in a state. Find your state. What is your state's capital? The United States has a capital too. It's called Washington, D.C. The leaders of our country work in Washington, D.C. Find Washington, D.C. on the map. Questions. What are 3 names for the place where you live? Find your state on the map. Which states touch your state? Geography skills. Using a compass rose. A compass rose shows directions on a map. The compass rose on this map will help Julia. She and her family are planning a trip to Louisiana. Look at the map below. Do you see the arrows on it? They are part of a compass rose. It helps show where directions are. The N on the compass rose stands for north. The S stands for south. The E stands for east. What does the W stand for? Julie looks for the capital city of Baton Rouge. Find Baton Rouge on the map. Is it in the east or west part of Louisiana? Trying the skill. Use the compass rose to answer these questions. Number 1. The Native American mounds are thousands of years old. Are they north or south of Avery Island? Number 2. Julia's family visits the American Rose Center. Is it east or west of the National American Mounds? Number 3. Birds called egrets live on Avery Island. Is that north or south of Baton Rouge?